bad way, probably about 2000, back in 2008 probably is when it kind of started. Started with the personal, I was diagnosed with rosacea, so it dealt with a lot of my facial redness and breaking out, and it was a new thing, so depression kicked in really there. 2012, my brother Ricky passed suddenly. That was that really, part of me died with him, and that really took a toll on me. So, you try to manage those kind of things, you try to hide it, but I think deep down inside a lot of people realize, no matter how hard you try to hide it, it's still there. But I impacted a lot of people's lives in a negative way. I was hard to deal with, hard to be around. And then it continued with a lot of grief, losing a lot of close ones. My grandmother's passed away about 2 years later. Then my dad passed away 2 years later. And then my best friend, Dustin, Big D, we called him, passed away 2 years later. So it was constant back-to-back immediate close losses that were sudden pretty much. It was a lot of trauma. I tried to address it going to counseling, and it helped, but so I was really in a dark place, very unpleasant to be around. I hated life, hated the world, felt sorry for myself, not only with the losses, but dealing with my condition with rosacea. And so I had a lot of anxiety, depression. I started, drinking too much alcohol. Never really was into drugs, but just a lot of substance abuse and trying to hide it. And it started to affect my life and the people around me. I was pushing people away, further and further away. My health got really bad in 2016. I was in critical condition. I found out I was diabetic because of my unhealthy lifestyle with the unhealthy eating, not being active, staying in bed, drinking too much, and it took a toll on me. And I ended up getting an infection of my inner leg that was starting to go into my blood. And I went to the ER, and they said they had to do emergency surgery. So they did emergency surgery. I found out I was diabetic, and found out 2 days later that this infection was still there, so they had to go do another surgery. And so there was kind of a bit of a wake-up call. It's like, hey, you got to get your life together. I got healthier. I started losing some weight, started eating clean. I was managing my diabetes, but not to the point where I was, it was gone. And during this time, my dad and my best friend were still around. Took advantage of it, started back with the bad habits, started putting weight back on, and then my dad passed, and that was hard seeing him pass slowly in front of my eyes. I was traumatized with that, and then again losing my best friend suddenly. This is someone that I spoke to every single day of my life, and I was close to him, and someone that you tell everything to before you even tell your own family members. So to lose him, that was the really that took me somewhere. I lost myself. It got worse. It started affecting my job. It started affecting, like I said, loved ones. I was just picking fights with people. I was not myself. So eventually, Juan had posted something on social media, I believe, talking about when he was going to start here, and if there was anybody interested. And I said, you know what, I got to do something different with my life, because the doctors wanted to put me on cholesterol medication. I was already on diabetes, on metformin. I was, my blood pressure. I was on blood pressure medication. They wanted to start putting me on cholesterol medication, and my health was just getting bad. And it's like, I got to do something different. Once I saw Juan post that's when I said, I'm going to reach out to him. I reached out to him, and here's the thing. As soon as I reached out to him, I was like, hey, I'm interested in that. He's like, okay, well, send me, here's my number. Let's set an appointment for an assessment. I set that appointment up, but immediately I started coming up with excuses because I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone. I was like, here I knew I needed to do something different. The signs were there. Obviously, I made the step to reach out to him, but then I was already starting the old mind frame, making excuses. And I was already thinking, I don't know if I want to go. But it's like, you know what? You hear this all the time. In order to learn and grow, you got to get out of your comfort zone. So I said, I'm going to make myself go. So I came over to Juan. We did an assessment. We talked. We sat down. He got my story. We did measurements. He checked my range of motion. He knew about certain, my shoulder. And he dialed everything into my specific needs. And so I started working out with him, started dialing in the nutrition. Next thing you know, the weight was coming off. I was off meds. I went and did blood work, and I started dialing into more of the nutrition, removing certain things that were unhealthy with the help of Juan and his program. I've never been as fit, and I'm still going as I am now in my 40s. And I never would have imagined where I would have been if I would not have made that step. Life or death, yeah, because it's like, okay, the first time I was given a sign, I was in critical condition. I was on the critical floor for a week. And I was like, scared. I asked the doctor, why am I on the critical care? He goes, because you're deathly sick. We got to get you. I had all the things hooked up, pumping everything into me, and that was scary. Getting shots in my stomach for blood, make sure I didn't get blood clots, because when I got here with him, it's like it really opened my eyes to the fitness and nutrition and everything as a whole, how it all fits into it. I can come in here and work out 24/7 a day, but if I don't dial in my nutrition part of it, my recovery part of it, I'm wasting my time. So with his help, guidance, and putting my trust in him, and it really shows, but it takes commitment. And what I learned from here, like I said, going back to getting out of your comfort zone. Every time I walk into the sweat box, you come in here and you bust your butt, you get yourself out of that comfort zone, right? You push yourself. And I think that's what helps me get out of that darkness with the anxiety, the depression, and the substance and all that stuff. Is I focus, I come in here and I channel all those things, and I use it to drive me to get in here and get through that pain. And you walk out of here feeling really good. It also lays down the foundation of just life itself. Everything that I do in here and everything that I've come to learn from this program it's helped me dial in, like I said, my nutrition, but also laying out the foundation outside of this, and that's having a plan, being organized. I'm much more organized. I'm planned. I'm old school. I have a planner. I'll write down my schedule, and I also put it on my phone. I plan what I'm going to eat, what time I'm going to eat, when I'm going to work out with him. And if things come up, it's part of life, but I always make it a priority to rearrange my schedule to fit it in. It's a priority to me. This is my new lifestyle. And I love it. I love what it's done for me. And not only that, it's bringing value to a lot of people around me. My nieces and nephews. I mean, they're always talking about, we want to be strong like Uncle Andrew, and just everyone around me, compared to what it could have been, right? And I've also had family members that struggle with drugs and stuff, and back then, I wasn't setting a good example if I'm going to be out there, partying and drinking. And now I set a better example for them to follow, and they're doing much better. Everyone, I just feel like there's a purpose, and I bring much value. Not only them, but a lot of friends too that struggle with anxiety or depression. I get a lot of them that reach out to me, and they say that I provide motivation and hope. I'm like, look, you got to change what you're doing, and life is so much. It's beautiful, and not only that, life is short. My brother, my best friend Dustin, my dad died young, and so I always put that in my head. It's like, I'm going to live the best quality of life that I can, because they can. Now, granted, they're in a better place, but they would want me to live a healthy, good quality life. I measure everything, man, and I weigh everything. One good scoop there. The macros too. So I'm gonna put about 3/4 in there. A whole one. I said about 5 or 6 there. Look at that. Right there.
Perfect.
I got it down.
Got it down.
I got it down. And there you go. That's my
Bottoms up.
bottoms up.